Hey there, Warriors fans. Today we're diving deep into the latest developments surrounding our Golden State team. And let me tell you, it's been a roller coaster of emotions lately. Coming off the weekend, I think it's fair to say it was one of the more frustrating stretches we've had watching this squad. You bring back your star player, Steph Curry, and naturally, expectations rise. We all hope that his return signals a shift, a spark that can turn things around. But the reality of what we've seen recently raises some serious questions about the direction of this team and what's going on behind the scenes with the roster construction and management decisions. On Friday, Steph returned, and he did Steph things. Lights out shooting, pulling off incredible plays that remind you why he's one of the greatest of all time. Yet, despite his brilliance, the rest of the roster seemed to fade, and the Warriors ended up losing to the Timberwolves in a single-digit game. Now, yes, it was a close loss, but the fact remains, it was still a loss. Then, following that, another single-digit loss came, a game they had under control late, but allowed to slip away. You have to start asking yourself, what is this roster really built to achieve? Was it designed to chase an NBA championship, or was it assembled in a way that prioritizes flexibility for Coach Kerr, perhaps at the expense of competitiveness in the paint and on the boards? The numbers tell a concerning story. Looking at last night's game against Portland, for example, Draymond Green led the team in rebounds with 8, 7 of them defensive, and only 1 on the offensive end. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler managed 7, and Jordan Poole had 7 as well. None of the big men are stepping up to dominate the glass, and that is a red flag when you're talking about championship aspirations. A team that can't secure rebounds consistently is going to face serious difficulties in controlling the pace and generating second-chance opportunities. It's baffling because the offseason strategy seemed clear: acquire versatile shooters to keep the offense flowing. But when you end up with a guard-heavy lineup that struggles to rebound, it limits the team's ceiling. Without a strong presence in the middle, you're always putting pressure on Steph and your perimeter players to do more than what is sustainable over a full season, and especially in the playoffs. It gets even more puzzling when you consider the rotations. Seth Curry, Wiggins, and Kuminga didn't see significant minutes, while DeAnthony Melton and Buddy Hield logged substantial time. Al Horford's presence has been minimal, raising the question of what the coaching staff envisions for the long-term strategy. You look at the scoring and efficiency, and while Steph exploded for 48 points, shooting 16 of 26 from the field and 12 of 19 from beyond the arc, the support around him was inconsistent. Draymond scored 14, Jimmy contributed 16, but that's not enough when you need a second offensive powerhouse and a true rebounder to balance the team. The current setup feels like a middle-of-the-road solution, where nothing is fully committed and results are suffering because of it. Trade rumors and proposals have started to swirl, giving fans something to chew on. One that caught attention was the idea of bringing Chris Porzingis into the Warriors lineup. On paper, it seems interesting. Porzingis provides size and shooting, but his injury history makes it risky. The last thing Golden State needs is a key piece who may not be available when crunch time comes. Reports suggested complex trade scenarios involving Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, and multiple draft picks. But even with all that, the underlying issue remains. The Warriors still need a dependable presence in the paint. A player who can consistently rebound, set screens, and command attention defensively. Porzingis, despite his talent, cannot guarantee that kind of stability. The real need is for someone like Ivica Zubac or a similarly reliable big man, someone who can secure offensive boards and create additional scoring opportunities for the perimeter players, especially Steph. Just imagine a scenario where Zubac grabs 4 offensive rebounds a game, giving Curry extra possessions. Those extra possessions could turn tight games into comfortable wins, swinging momentum in crucial stretches. Physicality in the middle is another key factor. The Warriors face dominant centers like Nikola Jokic, Rudy Gobert, and DeAndre Ayton regularly, and without someone to contest and rebound effectively, the team is always at a disadvantage. Right now, the lack of a dominant interior presence is glaring, and it is becoming increasingly clear that maintaining the current roster composition is not sustainable if the goal is a championship run. Beyond personnel, The rotation and minutes allocation present another challenge. Freshly signed or lesser-known players like Pat Spencer have shown flashes of brilliance, yet they're limited in minutes, while some veterans or role players continue to see extended time without delivering consistent impact. This is the definition of inconsistency, and it's frustrating to watch. Management has the opportunity to shake up the roster now that trade eligibility opens, but it requires bold decisions, moving players who aren't producing, acquiring a true big in the middle, and adjusting rotations to ensure the most effective combination is on the floor. The Warriors cannot afford to tread water any longer. Every loss under .500 adds pressure and narrows the margin for error. If adjustments are not made swiftly, there's a real risk that this team slides into mediocrity despite having one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. Steph deserves better surrounding talent, particularly in terms of interior defense and rebounding. Without these moves, the frustration among fans and the limitations of the current roster will continue to define the narrative of this season. Watching the same strategies play out repeatedly while expecting different results has been a source of annoyance for many, myself included. It is becoming evident that either a shakeup is necessary or the Warriors may find themselves in a prolonged period of underperformance, unable to contend for a title. Continuing from where we left off, Warriors fans, it's hard not to feel a sense of urgency when analyzing the current state of the roster. The middle of the season often reveals the true strengths and weaknesses of a team, and unfortunately, Golden State's vulnerabilities are becoming increasingly clear. The lack of a dependable big man who can consistently dominate the boards and defend the paint is not just a minor issue. It's a structural problem that affects every aspect of the game. When you have perimeter stars like Steph and Klay performing at elite levels, the expectation is that the supporting cast can complement them by handling interior defense, securing rebounds, and contributing secondary scoring. Without that balance, the Warriors are left relying too heavily on hero ball scenarios, which is unsustainable over the course of a rigorous NBA season. Every close loss feels like a missed opportunity because it highlights the areas where this team is underperforming. Take the last few games, for example. Narrow defeats that could have been wins if the team had a more consistent presence inside. Draymond Green, as much as he gives on both ends, cannot single-handedly fill the void of an elite center. And while Jimmy Butler or Poole provide flashes of brilliance, it is clear that the team is missing someone who can anchor the defense and secure those critical second-chance possessions. This absence not only affects game outcomes, but also impacts the psychological aspect of the team. Players start hesitating in the paint, they second-guess defensive rotations, and offensive spacing suffers because there isn't a credible threat inside drawing attention. Trade discussions have dominated fan conversations recently, and with good reason. Management has a window to make moves, and it is crucial they capitalize on it. While names like Chris Porzingis circulate as potential additions, the reality is that health concerns and fit issues make him a risky proposition. A player with recurring injuries can disrupt team chemistry and leave critical gaps during playoff runs. Instead, the focus should be on acquiring a big man who is durable, capable of grabbing double-digit rebounds, and can be a defensive presence in the paint. Ivica Zubac, for instance, stands out as a strong candidate. He consistently contributes on the offensive glass, can hold his own against the league's top centers, and provides a level of physicality that the Warriors currently lack. Adding a player like him could transform the team from being just competitive to a legitimate contender in the Western Conference. Furthermore, it isn't just about bringing in a big man. It's about recalibrating the rotations to maximize efficiency. Freshly signed or younger players who show promise, like Pat Spencer, need consistent minutes to develop chemistry and make meaningful contributions. Right now, minutes are spread in ways that sometimes stifle potential. Veteran role players with limited upside are often on the floor during critical stretches, while emerging talent sits with minimal impact. This imbalance slows the team's progression and inhibits strategic flexibility. If the Warriors are serious about a championship run, these allocation decisions need immediate correction alongside any roster upgrades. Another key aspect to consider is how these issues compound over the season. Fatigue, injuries, and mismatches against more physically dominant teams expose the vulnerabilities of a roster that lacks balance. The Warriors' reliance on perimeter shooting is a double-edged sword. When shots fall, games are won. When they miss, there's no interior support to pick up the slack. In the modern NBA, where teams are increasingly athletic and versatile, failing to control the boards and protect the paint is a recipe for inconsistency. Every close game, every tight loss, becomes a reflection of these systemic shortcomings. Steph can perform at a historic level, but even he cannot compensate for structural flaws indefinitely. Management decisions now are critical. The trade market is open, and the Warriors have assets they can leverage to improve immediately. Whether it's moving Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, or other perimeter players, the goal must be to bring in someone who addresses the core issues. Draft picks and cap space are valuable tools, but they must be used strategically to secure a player who can provide a tangible, consistent impact in the paint. A move like this could provide immediate dividends, allowing the team to compete more effectively in the present while maintaining flexibility for the future. It's about balancing short-term competitiveness with long-term sustainability, ensuring the Warriors remain a serious contender in the Western Conference. The timing of these decisions is crucial because the Western Conference is unforgiving. Teams like Denver, Phoenix, and the Lakers are continually improving, and Golden State cannot afford to wait until a losing streak forces reactive decisions. Proactive management is necessary to prevent a scenario where the team falls too far behind and playoff contention becomes uncertain. Beyond trades, coaching strategies may also need adjustment. Schemes that work in practice may falter under game pressure if personnel are not suited to execute them effectively. Therefore, aligning the roster with a tactical approach that maximizes each player's strengths is essential for sustained success. Health remains another significant concern. Golden State has dealt with injuries throughout the season, impacting lineup stability and performance consistency. Players like Al Horford and others with recurring injuries cannot be relied upon for long stretches, emphasizing the need for a durable, reliable core. The team's success depends not only on talent, but also on availability, especially when navigating the grueling schedule leading up to the playoffs. Ensuring a roster that is both talented and durable is a prerequisite for any realistic championship aspiration. Ultimately, Warriors fans, the path forward requires decisive action. Bringing in a capable big man, recalibrating rotations, and creating consistent minutes for high-potential players are all vital steps. The narrative of repeated close losses and reliance on perimeter-heavy offense must shift toward a more balanced and adaptable team. Every decision made in the coming weeks could define the trajectory of the season. Whether the focus is on upgrading the middle, adjusting player minutes, or exploring trade possibilities, the goal is clear. Assemble a team that can compete at the highest level while providing the support necessary for Steph and Klay to thrive. Without these moves, the season risks stagnation, and the championship window may close prematurely. The urgency is real, the stakes are high, and the opportunity to correct course is now. Fans deserve a team that can not only compete, but also contend with the very best. The decisions made on roster adjustments, health management, and rotation strategy will determine whether Golden State remains in the conversation as a top-tier contender or drifts into the uncertainty of mediocrity. This is a pivotal moment, and the Warriors must act decisively to ensure that the potential of this team, led by one of the greatest players in NBA history, is fully realized and not squandered by indecision or mismanagement. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In what could be the most shocking twist of the NBA offseason, whispers around the league are reaching a fever pitch. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning superstar of Milwaukee, has reportedly given the elusive yes to a potential move, and the Golden State Warriors are at the center of this seismic shift. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Warriors, already aggressive in their pursuit, have significantly sweetened their offer, sending shockwaves through the league and leaving fans analysts and rival front offices scrambling for answers. Insiders say the negotiations have intensified in recent days, with the Warriors leveraging both financial clout and championship pedigree to tempt the Greek freak. Imaginations are running wild with the possibility of Giannis joining forces with the likes of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, a lineup that could redefine the balance of power in the NBA for years to come. The mere idea of this pairing has players and coaches whispering about a super team of unprecedented scale, and it's fueling an already frenzied media landscape. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the buzz is undeniable. Social media is ablaze with speculation, memes, and hot takes, as fans debate the implications of one of the league's most dominant forces potentially switching coasts. Rival franchises are reportedly adjusting their own strategies, anticipating a blockbuster domino effect that could reshape trades, free agency, and even the draft. Some sources hint that Giannis' camp has been meticulously weighing the Warriors' offer against other possible destinations, with the allure of championships, market appeal, and lifestyle all playing a role. This isn't just a rumor. It's a tectonic shift that has NBA insiders talking in hushed tones. Executives are described as on edge. Scouts are revising their projections, and the league itself feels the tremor of a potential Giannis-Warriors alliance. If it happens, we could be witnessing the start of an entirely new era, where dynasties are built faster and the stakes rise higher. One thing is certain, wherever Giannis lands, the NBA will never be the same. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.